Welcome back to News Talk. Now to a health concern you will see only on ABC 7 and here on News Channel 8. It involves those state-of-the-art athletic fields you find all over our area. Crumb rubber is supposed to cut down on injuries, but some experts wonder whether there's a link to cancer.
I will say that I have seen nothing, not one scintilla of evidence that it is not safe.
While industry representatives maintain crumb rubber poses no risk, health advocates from across the country are calling on the federal government to do comprehensive testing to settle the debate once and for all. Their fight comes in part because of a list pulled together by a soccer coach on the West Coast who's tracked more than 160 athletes who have all played on crumb rubber and gotten cancer.
You're an expert in public health. When you see those numbers, those appear to be stunning numbers.
They are. Yeah, they're enough to make you cry. Say, first reaction is we missed it. We didn't fight hard enough. But the second is how bad can it be?
Tonight at 11 p.m. on our sister station ABC 7, the I-Team looks at what some worry might be toxic turf that could put your kids at risk. We're delighted to have reporter Josie Sturman here alongside John Dam, a parent who has looked into this submarine controversy extensively. Great to have both of you with us. Josie, what's the issue here?
The issue is that federal testing has not been done. We're talking about these rubber crumbs. You find them all the time. If your kids play sports, they're in the cleats, they're in the uniform. And these kids are bouncing into this, going face first into it, playing in it, absorbing it. And the feds have done no comprehensive testing. There's all kinds of industry tests, all kinds of health departments. States have looked at it individually. But no one can say definitively yes or no, there is not a cancer risk here. And people just want the question answered.
I was watching an NFL game just the other day, and I saw a player's a foot or a body part drag across the turf, and you saw this spray, and I thought, what is this? And the next day I'm reading about your report, so the timing of this is interesting just for me personally. This is something you've looked into. John, this is something you've looked into. What should parents know?
Well, I'll comment first. Thank you for having me, Bruce and Josie, and thank you for taking a look at this very important public health issue. And one thing I'll note from the beginning is there was a industry representative making an assertion about what the studies show, and earlier in the segment. And it's astonishing to me that industry representatives will say such things when entire countries like Sweden have banned the use of tire rubber on fields because they contain carcinogens, mutagens, and reprotoxins. Dangerous stuff. There's no dispute about that. So as a parent, when I see countries, entire municipalities like New York City Parks and Schools, LA Unified School District banning the stuff, Montgomery County banning the stuff, and I live in a county which is going all in on this stuff, it raises questions for me. So I dug in, did a lot of research on my own, and because of my background both playing on the fields and in my background in environmental law, I said to myself, and my wife said the same thing, is we're going to protect our kids. We're not going to let them play on this stuff.
What did you find that caused you concern? I mean, this is stuff that gets everywhere. Right? Every nook and cranny, as it were, when athletes are out there running around, sometimes on the ground, getting up, etc. What's the health concern specifically?
Well, there's plenty of information out there. There's no dispute about what's in the stuff. It's multiple carcinogens, phthalates, BPA, endocrine disruptors, all the stuff you normally stay away from and take reasonable steps to avoid in your daily life. Like we don't get children's products with BPA and phthalates in it. EPA doesn't ban that, but when we get educated, we know we stay away from that stuff. So why would I identify that? All that stuff is on these fields. Kids absorb it through the skin, they eat it, all right, and they inhale it. Why would I want to put my kids who are susceptible to this stuff, especially as children, exposed directly to that? Why would I take different steps when I'm avoiding these things in my normal daily life and expose them on these fields?
And Josie Sturman, as your report airs in full tonight on our sister station ABC 7, it'll be fascinating to watch the reaction from officials, decision makers, folks who make decisions about fields. everybody.
And the problem is there is a contradiction. As John just mentioned, we're talking about jurisdictions right across the river from each other making different decisions, like Montgomery County essentially saying we're not going to put public funding into these kinds of fields, as Fairfax County spends tens of millions to install those fields. So the problem with the lack of testing is that it leaves these local governments basically to decide for themselves which science they should pick and choose and trust, and that's the real basis of the problem. Until they get some kind of comprehensive study going on this issue, there's no definition that says, yes, you're good, no, you're not, and as a result, money is spent and children are out on those fields.
And you've talked extensively as part of your research and your reporting with industry representatives.
And they say it's safe. They're pointing to their science that they've looked at from different health departments, from different looks. But the thing that we have to raise, the point we have to raise is all of these studies look at these items piecemeal. They don't necessarily look at the total comprehensive health impact of breathing this in, of absorbing it. They may look at what's in it, they may look at the harm from it, but they don't look comprehensively at the potential for damage.
Josie Sturman, John Dam, thank you both. Josie will be watching for your report tonight at 11 on ABC 7. Back with more News Talk right after this.